As a journalist specialising in healthy ageing, including skin ageing, I keep an eye on all the latest research, emerging theories and approaches. And there are several science-backed but less well-known changes that we can make that will have a noticeably positive impact on how we look and feel as we grow older, and I'm about to set them out for you. If you're new to the channel, I'm Clare Johnston and I'm on a mission to help you and I understand how to age well, look and feel good for longer. I do that here on YouTube, on podcast platforms and on my website honest.scot. Scroll down to the bottom of any page on my site to sign up for my free monthly newsletter, rounding up all my latest content so you don't miss a thing. And I often include giveaways with my newsletters of some of the best skincare products and devices that I've tried. But now let's take a look at some of those secrets to aging well that most folks don't already know. Science is moving fast, and while you'll hear lots of different theories and protocols for healthy aging, the lifestyle changes we know for sure make a difference are really pretty straightforward. At the roots of aging well sit 5 key things: eating a diet largely based on natural whole foods while cutting back on sweetened drinks and sugar, building and then maintaining muscle mass through weight training, keeping active and taking regular walks in daylight, getting plenty of sleep, and taking steps to reduce your stress. Those are the core pillars. But through my interviews with experts in different fields, there are a few less known frills and flourishes that we can add to our healthy aging regimens. And what I'm about to run through with you are the ones that really stood out to me from the interviews I've done over the past 12 months. Firstly, we now know the condition of your skin impacts your health and potentially your lifespan. This stunning fact first came to light in an interview I did with skin microbiome expert Dr. Thomas Hitchcock, who revealed how changing levels of microbes on our skin can affect its health and appearance positively or negatively. And I'll link in the description below to all the interviews related to the information that I'm covering in today's episode. But the conversation about skin health was then taken a step further in an interview with scientist and One Skin founder Alessandra Zonari, who explained how our overall health and lifespan is linked to our skin. In particular, she explained visible signs of inflammation on the skin, including dryness and redness, shouldn't be ignored. This is because of a cascading effect where inflammatory cytokines released in the skin can enter the bloodstream, adding to overall levels of inflammation in our body. And we know that chronic or ongoing inflammation in our bodies is very closely linked with accelerated aging and age-related diseases, including Alzheimer's, dementia, arthritis, cardiovascular disease, kidney disease, cancer, osteoporosis, and more. So it's well worth watching that interview and not ignoring ongoing signs of inflammation in your skin, because while short-term inflammation can play a helpful role in healing and rejuvenation, allowing inflammation to run on and on unchecked can negatively impact our health. That also means if you're using a lot of actives in skincare long-term and it's drying out your skin or leaving it red and sensitized, that's going to be unhelpful because it's damaging your skin barrier and adding to overall levels of inflammation in your body. Keeping your skin well moisturized and staying active to ensure there's good blood flow to the skin as we age are great starting steps, as is, of course, sun protection. Before we move on to the next little known healthy aging fact, remember, if you haven't already, that by hitting the subscribe button along with the notification bell, or hitting follow if you're listening to the podcast, you'll be able to spot future episodes from me so you don't miss out on the latest healthy aging and skincare advice. Now, this next important fact has only really become fully apparent in recent years because while we've long known it's possible to limit bone density loss through diet and exercise, there's now evidence that you can reverse it to some degree. On this channel recently, we heard from physical therapist and strength trainer Chris Reese, who told us about his incredible 97-year-old client called Merce Hershey, who 2 years ago walked into a gym in Cincinnati to help improve her strength and mobility after a fall. A recent DEXA scan showed an improvement in her bone density after 2 years of strength training, and Merce is not alone. In that conversation linked below, Chris explained how both muscle mass and bone density can be improved through weight-bearing exercise at any age, even at 97. That's because when muscles pull on bones, it stimulates the bones to renew themselves, which can improve their strength. And Chris is going to be back on the channel next week. It's an episode you don't want to miss because he's coaching my parents who are in their 80s and have just begun a strength training program. In my mum's case, she can hardly walk any distance because of the loss of muscle in her back. And we're going to see if strength training can improve her mobility and quality of life. So stay tuned for next week's episode. The next little known fact about healthy aging is that it's possible to reverse greying hair, again, to some degree. So although I didn't actually set out to do this, it's something I've noticed myself with the hair around my temples just over the last year, because I used to have quite obvious patches of white hair either side, which have noticeably reduced simply from making lifestyle changes, including exercising more, regular saunas, cutting right back on processed foods, switching from a harsh kind of face wash to oil-based cleansing to cleanse my skin and also my hair. I mainly use conditioning washes now. And it could also be linked to the vitamin B3 derivative NMN that I added to my daily supplement intake, something that has also been linked to grey hair reversal. Now, greying that's caused by genetics is not so easy to tackle through lifestyle changes, but greying can also be caused by nutritional deficiencies, and stress is thought to be a big factor as well. So small human studies have shown, for instance, that periods of stress can accelerate greying, with some reversal then observed in study participants in periods where they were more relaxed. And the mix of interventions were explained on the channel by trichologist and RA Grey founder Jay Small. Jay believes topical serums can help, which is why he makes them, but he also explained how a diet rich in whole foods and high in nutrients like vitamin B12, copper, vitamin D, iron, zinc, magnesium and biotin can support hair and follicle health. Another secret weapon when it comes to staying healthy and active and having strong skin as we age is heat shock therapy, including sauna bathing that I just mentioned there. Because we know damaged proteins in our bodies speed up the aging process, and so we want to do as much as we can to help repair them so they're not accumulating and clustering. Accumulated damaged proteins are linked to age-related disease and to the visible signs of aging on our skin. When our skin and our bodies are subjected to a certain amount of heat, special proteins known as heat shock proteins are released as part of a protective mechanism. Scientists believe the heat shock proteins stabilize damaged proteins and give the cell time to repair or renew them. The release of heat shock proteins is a big part of the reason why sauna bathing is thought to be so good for us, along with its cardiovascular effects. And I'm going to link to a couple of videos I've done digging into the science of this subject further, and you'll find that below. And here's another tip when it comes to the health, strength and appearance of our skin as we grow older. And it's one that really landed with me over the last 12 months. We tend to think that only topical solutions can help our skin. And though things like retinoids and sun protection really can make a difference to its appearance, similar to sauna bathing, just increasing blood flow to our skin through exercise and massage will also make a difference. Combine that with good hydration, plenty of sleep and a healthy diet, and you're really going to be ticking all the boxes you can for keeping your skin in good shape in later life. That's because our blood delivers nutrients and oxygen to skin cells, and they play a big role in maintaining the health and fabric of our skin, including producing collagen and elastin, which we hear so much about. By keeping these cells well supplied, we help them to function optimally and to stay productive. And when we start massaging the skin with our hands or using handheld devices like I do, we stimulate our blood vessels, which cause them to dilate or widen and allow more blood to flow through. Incidentally, I always include links to my own skincare regimen and the supplements I take in the description if you want to check those out. And around the whole body as we age and our circulation becomes more challenged, you get less blood supply to the skin, and that creates a higher risk for skin conditions, which can become really problematic in later life. So anything we can do to improve our circulation in general is a great idea. And that's also why keeping strong and active is going to improve blood flow around the body, and building muscle strength has been shown in studies to improve the condition and volume of our skin. And I'm going to finish now with one of the most overlooked but hugely impactful factors when it comes to healthy aging, and that is your own expectation of what old age will mean for you. Simply feeling positive about aging has been found to add years to life, as well as being linked with living a healthier life. So a study of 14,000 adults found that those who felt most happy about aging had a 43% lower risk of dying from any cause over the 4 years studied. Another found that people with more positive self-perceptions of aging lived on average 7.5 years longer than those with less positive self-perceptions about aging, exceeding the impact of things like low blood pressure, cholesterol, exercise, weight loss, and even smoking. So rather than expecting an inevitable decline with aging and an inability to do the things you love, taking the view that you can and will age well and continue to be mobile and active in your later years is scientifically proven to help you achieve it. There are, of course, no guarantees, but these are some interesting and pretty straightforward tips for supporting our health and appearance to help us live better for longer, which is a goal most of us can get on board with. So over to you now. Which of these tips resonated most with you? And have you experienced any reversal of hair graying, bone density loss, or skin aging that you can share with us in the comments? What are some of the less known tips that you swear by? Before I go, a reminder that I'll include links to other episodes and articles from me around some of the points discussed today in the description. And I'll also include links to my website, podcast platforms, info around my skincare, makeup, and all the other things I tend to get asked about. But for now, thank you for being here today.